Hello trainers, in this video we will learn how to upload speaking tests on IELTS LMS. User will see the instruction page on the screen first. There's an option to test the microphone. After testing the microphone, user can hear the audio and start the exam. IELTS exam has 3 parts. Part 1 has around 7 to 8 questions. Then students see the cue card and he has to answer a question. And then in part 3, trainer asks the related questions to the cue card. Now, this is how it will appear on the screen. This is the instruction page of part 1. Student can start the exam and answer the question that is on the screen. He gets the 5 seconds to think the answer. Now my answer is getting recorded after 5 seconds. After clicking on next question, it displays the second question for which again I get the 5 seconds to answer. Now in this tutorial, we will learn how to add these parts and add related questions to these parts. After submitting the test, student can listen the answers and these answers and audio files will be sent to the trainer for the manual evaluation. Now let's learn how to upload speaking tests on IELTS LMS. For that, go to IELTS LMS dashboard, click on speaking and go to quizzes. To add a new test, click on add new. Now the first option is to add the title. So I'm going to add speaking test as a demo. Then here you can enable the instructions. So when users start the speaking test, he sees a list of instructions. You can add the instruction page under the instructions and click on create quiz. After the quiz is published, you see an option to add the parts. So as you know, IELTS has 3 parts. So I'm going to add part 1 first. For that, click on add new section. By default, it will display the part name. Keep it as it is. Here you can set the timer for each part. So I'm going to set 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, student has to answer all the questions related to part 1. Under the add the instructions for part 1. This is how user will see the instructions of part 1. You can get these instructions from IELTS official website and add it here. If you have sample answer for part 1, you can paste it here and click publish. Similarly, add other 2 parts. Part 2 is a cue card, so you can either name it as cue card or you can keep it as it is. Set the timer to 2 minutes. User has to answer the cue card in 2 minutes and add the instructions for part 2 here. If you have the sample answer, enable the toggle and add the sample answer for cue card and click publish. Now the last part is part 3. For that, I'm going to set the timer to 5 minutes and add the instructions for part 3 as well and click on publish. So the first step is to add all the parts, and now we can add, after adding all the parts, we will add the following questions related to these parts. So go back to the sections and here we have added part 1, part 2 and part 3. To add the question in part 1, click on questions and click on add new question. Now here our first question is, what kind of place is it? Copy the question and paste in the question section. Here you can set thinking time. So if I enter 5, user will get 5 seconds to think the answer. You can also set it 10 if students are beginners. Users will get 10 seconds and after 10 seconds, recording will start. Along with it, you can also record your audio. User can hear the audio along with the text. So I'm going to record my audio. What kind of place is this? And click on save changes. So my audio has been also added. User will see the question and listen the audio. And after that, click on publish. To add another question, click on add question again. Copy the second question from your worksheet and paste it in the question field similar to part 1. After adding all the questions in part 1, go back to the sections again. For that, you can click on quizzes, sections and go to the cue card. So cue card has only one question. Click on add new question and paste it in the question field. You can also do the sorting. You can remove the spaces or you can bold a few sentences here. So I want to bold this sentence. In a cue card, thinking time would be more than 5 seconds. So I'm going to enable 1 minute for cue card. So user will get 1 time to think the answer. Then click on publish. Similarly, you can add the questions in part 3. Let's preview the test. Click on preview icon So here we have instruction page. After clicking on next step, we have an option to test the microphone. This is the part 1. These are the instructions that we have had it. Our next question was, what's the most interesting part of your village? So if I click on next question, user will see the next question and get the time to think the answer. And in the final part, this is our cue card, and here we have enabled 1 minute to think the answer. So our speaking test is working fine. If you have any questions related to uploading speaking tests, do let me know in the comment below. I will see you in the next tutorial. Thank you for your time.